Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to another World of Tanks gameplay video. In this installment we're going to have a look at, well, an era that has now come to an end. This video is going to contain 3 replays, all from patch 9.17 and all looking at artillery. Hoorah! And of course, as of patch 9.18, artillery received some pretty major reworks. So this is kind of a swan song for the old artillery and what it used to be capable of. Gonna have a couple of replays from me and also one from My Name is Puffs. And we are kicking off with one of mine in the tier 9 French artillery piece, the Batchat 155-55. This was always one of the less hard-hitting of the tier 9 artilleries. The French artillery tend to have relatively small guns and relatively small splash radius, but in compensation they were relatively accurate. Hello, Mr. E100. Maybe that did damage, maybe it didn't. No idea. And just gonna move it along. Don't want to stay stationary between shots, just in case one of the enemy artillery players is watching out for tracer fire. So, moved to another position while I was reloading, and we're just gonna focus down these heavy tanks. Now, we're not gonna penetrate these heavy tanks with our HE shells, and we're not gonna do as much damage as we would with a direct hit against another tank. But that's still 511, and still may well have damaged modules and whatnot. And let's be honest, E100s are pretty easy targets to hit, so I'm perfectly happy just plinking away at these guys on a fairly regular basis. And it wasn't really tanks like the Batchat 155-55 that were that much of the problem, because as you can see here, I'm not doing any more damage to these E100s than I would have done 425 in a tier 9, let's say, heavy tank. I'm not doing absolutely obscene amounts of damage to them, but when you're talking about machines like the M53-55, also a tier 9, and if we're looking at tier 10, of course, you've got the Conqueror gun carriage, the T92. These things could do absolutely absurd amounts of damage to their targets, and it was a bit of a problem. Anyway, those days are long gone, which is why I'm bothering with this video. And 59 whole damage, oh yeah! Nonetheless, I imagine this E100 platoon is probably getting a little bit sick of getting plinked by me. This is, of course, by the way, an assault game here on Erlenberg. We're on the defending team, and I decide to switch my attention over to the other flank for a while, as our team didn't really invest any tanks down the 1 and 2 lines, which is a good thing. But now that the enemy team have pushed down here, I do want to give a little bit of supporting fire against these enemy tanks. So there's a shot out against the IS-3, 465 to him. You know, we don't want to get overwhelmed from that flank, and our team seemed to be doing a reasonably good job of holding the 9 and 0 lines, so yeah. Switching my fire back to the 9 and 0 lines, just to make sure the E100s don't think I've forgotten about them, so I can keep making their lives difficult. Selecting my target each time. He's disappeared, so let's switch to the other E100. So making sure that my friendly team knows which tanks I am targeting, and if this guy would just sit still. There we go, shot out, 499 to him. And so far we've managed, well, best part of 2,000 damage against these enemy heavy tanks. And I feel I should point out, at the time of recording this, I had a mission up that required me to cause at least 2,000 damage to enemy heavy tanks. Hurrah! So that should be pretty straightforward. One more hit on one of these E100s, for example, should seal the deal. And take that shot. And it's a direct hit, there's no explosion. So that should complete that mission for me. Can I do it with honours? Destroy an enemy heavy tank, and win the battle? We shall see. Scoreline is 3-2. Switching my attentions back to the other flank. Well, the enemy T-49 drowned himself, and the IS-3 just got nuked by a T-57, so I don't think my attention's really needed over there. So we will just keep focusing on this stubborn pair of E-100s. Is it 2 or is it a triumvirate? Not quite sure. Either way. Pew! And 384 to him. Didn't look like it was a direct hit, but we're picking up some assistance damage there for tracking the guy as other people shoot him anyway, so it's all good. Scoreline is 4-2, and we're over halfway through this match. As assault games are, of course, only 10 minutes long. Ah, someone else picks up the kill on that E100, so I can't do it. God damn it. Although when I played this match, I wasn't thinking about the mission that I had selected. Really wasn't. Just seeing if the Leopard or the Defender or either of the 2 remaining E100s are going to be spotted. Oh, there's the Leopard. Take a punt. Nowhere near. Nowhere near at all. Never mind. Scoreline is 5-3. The emphasis is very much on the enemy team to actually attack us, so we're in a pretty good position at this point. We can kind of just chill here. The enemy team seem to be really struggling to make an impression on us and to make any sort of progress, so sweet. That keeps things nice and simple for us. Defender here, who's faffing around with being behind buildings and whatnot. How terribly unreasonable of him. He needs to come out in the open where I can land a big fat 155mm shell onto his face. Oh well. ST1. Can we do anything about this fella? Our Type 5 Heavy is chasing him down. Never mind. Nope, ST1 has gone to a better place. E100 burns to death. Sorry about that. So we just got another E100 over here. That Leopard was last spotted over here as well. Speak of the devil. He's backing off. I'm not going to take that shot. It's very unlikely that I'll hit. This shot, however... Pew! There we go. Someone landed a hit first, so we don't do that much damage, but we do pick up the kill. None too shabby there. And just moving again in between shots to try and deny the enemy artillery any counter-battery fire. Switching our attention, so we've got this E100 here. And none of this, by the way, is premium ammunition or anything. This is just good old-fashioned regular high explosive. RT-10 has AMX 1390 shaped problems, so I switched to try and give RT-10 a hand, because otherwise he's taking a very large amount of damage, but he manages to nail the 1390 himself. Not before he's killed though, and that shot misses. The wonders of playing artillery, certainly pre-patch 9.18. Your performance is very much in the hands of RN Jesus. So, as we reload, trying to switch our attention round to a different target. We've got this E50M and the Defender still over here. 2 minutes left on this match. There is, of course, also that E100. And... oh, he's killed our T30. The scorelines are actually relatively even now at 9-8. They've kind of pulled it back a bit. And shot out. There we go. 580 into that E50M. And once again, just slightly moving. And also pondering who I'm going to try and target next. There's the enemy artillery. Not that he's really a massive threat at this point. Defender gets taken out by our E4. And we're just seeing if we can get another shot on the E50M, but he decides to hunker down behind a building. Not that I can really blame him that much. Trying to get a bead on him, but I don't think it's going to happen. So, switching back to this E100, who is also now hiding behind a building. God damn it, these guys are taking all the cover, and there's only 1 minute of this match left. Come on, E100. Come on, pull back, you blighter. Nah, not enough for me to really do anything with it. E50M again. Is he going to oblige us? Oh, there goes the enemy artillery. Come on, there's 35 seconds left of this match, Mr. E50M. Do it. Do it now. Oh, he backs off. and pew! 462 into him. Excellent. And 22 seconds left on this match. I'm not even sure if I'm going to reload in time to get one more shot off, but I do get spotted, however. Oh dear. Just the E50M and the Panther 88 remaining. No. Nah, E50M is dead. And the Panther 88 is actually going to survive, unfortunately. And that is the game. So let's go and have a look and see how well we did. So that ended up being enough for first class mastery and fire for effect. And we did complete our mission for all that damage on heavy tanks. Though not with honours, as we weren't able to pick up a heavy tank kill in that match. We landed one blind shot on one of those E100s. So that was 4,029 damage done. One kill, 898 base experience, which put us at the top of our team. 13 shots fired, 9 hits, 9 pens, 2 splash damage for that damage count. No hits received or anything, thankfully. 6 enemy vehicles damaged, 1 of them killed. Bit of assistance damage into the bargain, and we were running a premium account at the time for 28,292 credits profit. Also, times 5 experience event, so a nice amount of experience for that win. Even though it lasted the full 10 minutes. So there we go, there's the first game in the back chat, 155.55. Let's switch things up just a little bit. Here we go then, another game. This time we're at tier 6, or rather we're a tier 6 machine in a tier 8 match. This is the FV304, but the Avenger undergone a few changes throughout its time, but here we are. Now I should point out my crew in this is pretty naff. So don't necessarily expect miracles. Nonetheless, let's see what we can do. We are on the Abbey map, not a map I'm a particular fan of, if I'm going to be honest. But, you know, we'll do our best. Again, 9.17 replay, as all these replays are, so this is Bert pre-patch 9.18, before all those changes. Haven't really played him since, I don't think. Now with Bert, you're very short-ranged, so you do need to be relatively close to your targets in order to shoot them. So I am going to set up just here to start off with, and see how far I can actually get shots. The 1 and 2 lines are, in my opinion, the most important bits of this map, because from this position you can kind of shoot most of the rest of the map. The Abbey itself is also a reasonable position to go into. Depends what sort of tank you're driving. 8 and 9 lines, not so much. That's just a corridor, and it's a corridor that doesn't really allow you to influence the outcome of the match all that much. So we're going to start off trying to pick out this Leo. While the FV304 does have a very short range, I don't know why that guy is just going to sit there if he's already been shot. Goodbye. It does have a very high shell arc. Now that means its shell travel time is long, however, it is pretty good at shooting over just stuff that's in the way. And that shot goes nowhere near. Switching attention now. Can I shoot this KV2 or the FV201? Be nice if I could. Well, our Tiger is pushing around, but hello, KV85 and T29, that's a bit of a threat to my position. So if I can shoot these guys, that would be quite useful. Backing off, I do not want to suddenly find those guys up in my face. That would be decidedly bad. So we're just retreating to a slightly safer location. We should still be in range to shoot that KV and the T29. Although the KV's already dead, so I'm not quite sure if my attention's actually going to be needed, but we shall see. T29, nah, even my shell arc isn't able to loop over that sort of hillside to get to him. T10, however, is pushing up, so let's see what we can do about him. Nah, miss. Scoreline is 3-4, so this is fairly close. Trying to see if I can land a shot on that engine deck. That would be quite nice. There we go, and yes we are. That was a penetrating HE round through the top armour of his engine deck for 453, which was pretty nice. Can we put another shot into this 110? There we go. Seems like we damaged his tracks in the process. And he is currently just pinned there, and he is dead, and that is some assistance damage for us. Hurrah! Take a blind shot at where that KV2 last was, and he hasn't moved, so he is dead as well. That's our second kill. FV201 here is now looking decidedly outgunned. Unfortunately, he moves just as I take my shot, so I don't manage to land a hit on him. It would be quite nice to get a hit on this guy. His armour isn't the best, so the chances of another penetration are a bit higher than it might be with some other tanks. As it is, no penetration. We only actually do 59 damage to him. But damage his tracks by the sound of it, and he is dead. And the scoreline is 7-4, so far this game is going alright. Moving forwards, to try and make sure that we can still get shots on the enemy team, try and keep this relevant. Can we shoot that T44-100? It's a bit dodgy. Not really. And he actually kills our T34-100, which isn't the best outcome, obviously, but these things happen. So, moving forward still. And seeing if we can get shots on anyone who is around. T44-100 is still down there. It would be nice to be able to shoot this guy, though it might be a little bit awkward to achieve. Not quite sure. He's behind a house. So yeah, we're probably not going to be able to manage that, although... Nah, nothing happening. Okay, so we've got an OI and heavy tank number 6 approaching our base. So just going to pull back and see if we can do something about them. Heavy tank number 6 is gone. The OI, however, is still there. So with any luck, we should be able to land a shot on that fella. OI is quite heavily armoured, so I'm not expecting any penetrations, but we might be able to pew-pew this guy into an early grave, which would be quite useful. He is up against an IKV-90B, an ML1, and an M4A3E2, so I'm not expecting our team to struggle that much with him. I mean, the ML should just be able to rip him apart. Having said that, the IKV and the ML, the two tanks that can actually do a lot to him, are both on low health, so we have to give this a little bit of caution. Moving around and just seeing if I can relocate to get shots on him or anyone else. There he is. He has been spotted. Now the ML doesn't really want to pop around that corner because the OI does have a dirty great big gun. If he's using that howitzer, he doesn't even need to penetrate to do damage. So take the shot. 18. Oh yeah. But this ML does really need the help, so we're just going to give it to him. Another shot. Ooh! How the hell did we penetrate that one? What's the penetration on these HE rounds? 57. Blimey. That must have been through the roof or something. I was not expecting that to penetrate at all. Nah, unfortunately, the OI isn't going to drive into that shot. But the ML may well now be able to finish him off anyway. Or we might be able to do the job. Come on, Mr. OI. Stop giving us problems. Decide which way you're going. Screw it. If you're not going to make your mind up. There we go. And we pick up kill number 3. There are only 3 of them left at this point. ISU-152, IKV-90B, and an SU-100Y. Just a trio of tank destroyers. Moving forward to try and give our Hellcat some assistance. Our poor Hell Kitty. Unfortunately, the SU-100Y deletes him, which is a little unfortunate, and we are actually only winning this by 2 kills. This is not a foregone conclusion, so we do need to be a little bit careful. Trying to pre-aim for where they probably are. Our SU-152 appears to be moving up to do a little bit of spotting. And with any luck, he'll be able to see these guys and we'll be able to shoot them. That would be nice. Come on. We've also, of course, got that IKV, the Jumbo, and the ML1. Ooh, ISU, and he moves just as he's been spotted, and the SU kills him anyway, so that's fine. Now, we do still need to be a little bit cautious. We know both the ML and the IKV are on low health, so they're a one-shot for anyone. But SU-100Y and IKV, come on, get yourselves spotted. Ooh. There's the SU-100Y, who is out of my range, annoyingly enough. Okay. So, relocating a bit to try and get better shots over toward him. This might pull him into range with a little bit of luck. Yes! There we go. Awesome. SU-100Y takes one shot, trying to line up a shot ourselves. Take the shot blind. Nah. Looks like someone may have hit him though. Maybe that IKV, but we didn't. Certainly not a direct hit. And the splash damage on this machine is so pathetic that, yeah, we're not going to have really done anything by splash either. So, IKV and SU-100Y. Come on, fellas. Spot them for us, please. There's the IKV. Shot out, but he's moving backwards, so that's never going to do anything. And our IKV takes him out. And there's the SU-100Y. Oh, he's taken out our SU-152. This is a bit dicey. And he's dead. And there we go. That is the game. So let's go and have a look at some of those post-battle stats. As it turned out, the wonders of shooting higher tier machines, that was actually enough for my ace tanker in the FV304. We also got Fighter, Master Gunner and Bruiser awards, which isn't too shabby. 2016 damage done, 4 kills and 1000 base experience, bang on the nose, which isn't too bad. Gotta love shooting higher tier opponents. 15 shots fired, 9 hits, 9 pens, 2 splash for that damage count. 6 enemy vehicles damaged, 4 of them destroyed, 255 assistance damage. With a premium account at the time, that was enough for a 32,500 credit profit, and another ×5 experience event was running at the time for lots and lots of tasty experience. So they were my 2 offerings in artillery, and they weren't bad games, but they weren't, you know, gonna set your world on fire. Now let's go and have a look at a serious artillery replay. So here is My Name is Puffs in his GW Panther. He's in a bottom tier game here on the, I can't remember the name of the map, Muravanka, there we go. Former home of the Magic Forest. Bottom tier, but your artillery, so yeah, it doesn't matter too much. Interestingly, Puffs seems to use binocular telescopes on his GW. Fair enough. Nonetheless, he is going to try and prod some buttock. Got the nice little shamrock on the side of his tank there. Hercules. Oh dear, really? And you may well notice that's a lot of marks of excellence on his gun barrel. Oh dear. Yes, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, Puffs is a bit of a GW Panther scumbag. He does like playing this tank, and he's very effective in it. Now, unfortunately, because of replay bugs and whatnot, you can't see what ammunition type Puffs is using or anything like that. And straight off the bat, Puffs has got this SU-14-1 that parks right next to him, which is more than a little bit silly, because if one of their tracers gets spotted and the enemy artillery decide to make something of it, they have a pretty good chance of hitting Puffs or the SU-14-1, or maybe even both of them. Anyway, Puffs has lined up this T-32. Pew! Doesn't bother watching to see what happens. Sounds like he might have at least done a bit of damage, and the WZ-111 finishes that guy off. So that's not a bad start to proceedings. WZ-120 and a Tiger II here. Right next to each other. Oh, artilleryman's wet dream, whether it's the old patch or the new patch. Come on, reload, reload, reload. There we go. And there we go, some damage, hopefully on the both of them, but at the very least some damage on one of those tanks. Lining up another shot, and Puffs is moving between shots by the look of it, but he's not moving that much. I mean, to be honest, counter battery fire is, well, it's not what it once was. When the last set of changes they made, and we're talking way back in I think it was patch 8.6, Wargaming didn't really make it all that worthwhile for artillery players to counter battery fire. Really, it was essentially a waste of time. Anyway, ooh, those three tanks are so closely bunched up. Sorry, my artillery mission at the moment is to stun 3 enemy tanks with one shot. I would love something like that. That would be wonderful. Anyway, pew! And that WZ-120 has just been deleted. Tier 9 tank, about 1,000 damage taken from a Tier 7 tank. This is why artillery was changed. So Puffs is switching his attention back to the guys, well, in the rear, giving the enemy team supporting fire. We've got this M4A1 Ravioli and the Object 704. And there we go, there is the M4, shot out. Alas, the guy moved, so no dice. And Puffs relocates slightly. And there goes the Object 704, so the Ravioli is there. We need to do something about him, but he is no longer spotted. That's kind of awkward. Puffs switches back to the T-28 prototype. He landed a shot on this guy earlier on. If he can put a shot through this guy's side, that guy's going to be in a whole world of trouble. And he at least did some damage to him by the sounds of it. Yeah, though not a huge amount, unfortunately. So M4A1 Revelorise. And, you know, you can perhaps see why a lot of people making YouTube videos don't feature many artillery replays. And this is no criticism of Puffs here, but watching artillery can be, let's say, a little sedate. Let's put it that way. Hello, Ravioli. How are you today? And perfectly aimed shot. Nope. Nothing happening. Ah, the frustrations of old artillery. At least they've made that less frustrating now. T-28 prototype. Trying to line up a shot on him. He does have 2 wrecks as cover, unfortunately, which is a little bit awkward. But if you notice, the enemy team have decided what they really need to do is all camp back here. Hello, Mr. Tiger. And allowed the friendly team to really encircle them, which means although the score lines are even, this is, well, it's a bit dicey for the enemy team, if I'm going to be honest. The friendly team definitely have the map positional advantages. Tiger 2, KV3 and T-28 prototype all hunkering down here. Puffs is still trying to do something about that prototype, and there we go. Ooh, that made a bit of a mess. The ISU 152 and Scorpion both get taken out by the friendly team as well. And still want to do something about that Revelorise. He does have a nasty gun. That 105mm gun is quite painful. And Puffs is trying to line up a shot on him, but he keeps getting unspotted, which is slightly annoying. KV3 there being pushed on by the friendly FCM. Panther has been spotted, but Puffs is patient enough. He knows this M4 is going to come back up for a shot. And come on. Ah, he's been unspotted again. Puffs takes the shot blind in the end. And it doesn't go where he aimed anyway. So maybe it did a little bit of damage to the M4, but we shouldn't really expect it. KV3 and an IS-6 here now. Oh, it looks like it might have done a little bit of damage, unless that was someone else. Trying to line up shots on them. Nah. Tiger 2 has been taken down. Scoreline, by the way, is now 9-5. That positional advantage for the Allied team really coming to the fore. And Puffs misses that IS-6, which is rather frustrating. And playing artillery, certainly prior to patch 9.18, was a very frustrating experience. So, yeah, another reason for them to change it. T30, oh, if we can get a shot through his side armour, that would be hilarious. Aiming, 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 aiming. Come on, shot out. Well, given that the Su-14-1 managed to finish him off, I think it's a safe bet that Puffs was able to put damage into him. Although he didn't hang around long enough for us to see how much damage that was, which from the artillery player's perspective is actually fairly sensible as you relocate more quickly that way. From our perspective, we'd like to know how much damage it was. This E50 is just spinning around on the spot while he gets circled, which means Puffs can just land a shot straight into his face. And there's only two of them left at this venture, the E50 and the M4 Ravioli, or Revelarice, or whatever you want to call it, that Puffs has been trying to do something about for blinking ages. So, trying to line up a shot on this E50, sorry, not M50, and shot out. That's going to be some damage, especially as he took out the guy's tracks. And everyone's dead, and that is the game. So, let's go and join Puffs back in the on the screenshots to see how well he did. As it turned out then, that was actually enough for Puffs' ace tanker, or another ace tanker for Puffs, in the GW Panther, along with Bruiser, High Caliber, and a Gauze Medal. Now that means he's done an awful lot of damage. He has done damage exceeding 10 times the hit points of his vehicle. Now we didn't physically see a lot of the damage that Puffs did, but if we just go and have a look here, that T32, 547, T30, 1,209. Prototype, yeah, we saw that, 780, Tiger 2, 431, E50, 898, and that WZ, 1,650. Puffs was responsible for all of that guy's health. 5,515 damage done. 1 kill, 1,515 experience. Holy cow. That was a lot. 14 shots fired, 7 hits, 7 penetrations, 11 splashes, 5,515 damage done from long range, 6 enemy vehicles damaged, 1 of them destroyed, 224 assistance damage. With a standard account, Puffs only made a very slim profit as he was running a premium consumable, probably chocolate, on his tank, and the ammunition doesn't come cheap. ×5 experience event on at the time though, for a very, very nice amount of XP. So that ended up being a really good result for Puffs' GW Panther, bearing in mind he was shooting at tier 9 tanks and tier 8 tanks an awful lot of the time. In fact, I don't think Puffs managed to damage a single tank that was the same tier as him. They were all higher tiers, so he'll get more experience for that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that little outing in pre-patch 9.18 artillery pieces. These are now a thing of the past. They function in a very different manner. Never again are you going to see those massive damage numbers. It's now all about supporting your teammates, but at least being able to land shots more reliably than you were in the past. So there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed these replays. If you did, by all means feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel, and I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao ciao.